Hi and welcome back. Today we are going to restyle the signature Catty Noir doll that I have. This is pretty much how she looks out of the box, but I think I've messed with her hair. So we're gonna have some paint to her boots, we're gonna give her a new outfit, we're gonna redo her hair. Yeah, she's gonna get a whole top to bottom over. So the broken mirror is kind of one of Catty's symbols, and inside of her boots here there is kind of the cracked pattern and kind of similar to that. So I'm gonna take some gray paint and I'm gonna go in each crack and just fill them in. I'm not too worried about like slopping around because it is a groove in there, so I can scratch off the over paint, if that makes sense. And then it'll just stay in the crack, which is kind of where I just want it to be at anyway. We also went in and I painted the chains gray on her boots just to give it some added detail, and also filling in the back part of her necklace. Again, we're just trying to give it a little bit more depth in different places. We are also going to go in with kind of a lighter pink. She is a pink doll after all. We are sticking to that with a lighter pink and painting the buckles that are wrapped around her boots. Making sure, I'm not too worried about getting the perfect, again, it's plastic, you can for the most part scratch it off. For her belt, I used the same pink and went in the middle, and then I also cut off the plastic chains and put in real chains. I don't know. I think it looks nicer. Then I have this darker metallic pink that I am going to use to paint the soles of her boots. Again, we are just trying to, the main thing, I don't want to like change the doll in any way. I just want them to have some more definition. Here's kind of how the boot's looking so far. I know we've kind of watched it in fast clips, but we're going to take this metallic silver and go in each and every one of like the buckle holes on the belts, and then I believe in the same, we're also going to cover up and go over the chains to make them shiny because that makes way more sense, and it also matches the some of the factory details on the boot, and I want it to look the same. Of course, we can't forget to do that zipper. It needs to be shiny too. I kind of did this part off camera, but this is what I did with her backpack. I just painted on the outside, the little kind of bold crack, the zippers in the 13. At this point it still needs a little bit of scratching off, but we're also going to put some silver shine on her jewelry itself. And then kind of how we did on the boots, we're just going to highlight the buckle holes on her belt. Final touches to the accessories here. I have some sparkly black paint, and the bubble is not popping. Okay, yeah, I did have to do it with a paintbrush. I couldn't remember for sure. Sorry, I did this one a few days ago. It's just an extreme glitter paint. It dries clear other than the glitter. I'm going to put on the back of her phone, and then over the unpainted parts of her pink, the pink unpainted parts of her boots, we're also going to put the black glitter over that as well. Number one, it's going to help seal everything, and number two, I like sparkles. Last step with her accessories, I'm taking this Mod Podge and I am going everything and using that as my sealant. It seems to be holding really good for me. I don't know if it's the best product to be using, but it works for me. For a little while, I've had a few items that have been up against like the doll's skin. It doesn't seem to be wearing off, but it will peel off if you're not uncareful with it. But here's kind of a quick look at the main part of her outfit here. It's just supposed to be like a t-shirt dress. I'm not the best at hand stitching, so don't come for me too hard. Left a hole in the back for her tail, and then I attempted to freehand a 13 onto the front, and it looks like a 13. Here's what I did with her hair. I actually really like how her hair turned out. So it's just a high ponytail with braids down the side. I just used thread up at the top to make some bows, and then I just put some chunky star beads in there towards the bottom. My Catty, I totally didn't notice this. I was looking super close at her eyes to make sure her eyes looked fine when I took her out of the box, but I didn't even look at her lips once. There's a huge, like, light pink spot on her lips. So I'm just taking a watercolor pencil here, and I'm dunking the pencil straight in the water and then coloring over her lip, and in hopes to just kind of like it's a similar color to her lip color. I mean, I have one exactly like it, but once I let it dry just like a little bit, and then I took a paintbrush to help get it into the corners of her mouth and stuff, because it just kind of wanted to like not do that quite right. So I'm just trying to kind of set her up here. I used a rubber band and rubber banded her backpack to her tail, because otherwise, like with the straps on it, it just kind of falls. And pop her earring back in, maybe. And there's her necklace. So maybe I should have just cut this part out rather than make you guys all watch this. But I put her belt on and I realized, uh-oh, it covers the 13. All that, like 5 minutes of hard work I put into freehanding that 13 on there is now covered up. But I did find a solution for it, so I'll show it to you when you actually see like the reveal of the doll. But so here's our boots, finished up, Mod Podge, everything's painted on. There's the belt, you can see the 13 now. There's the back of her phone. Don't know if I love how that turned out, it kind of just looks dirty. And then you can kind of see the lip on her is fixed. Yeah, so like the back of the phone, I don't know if I love how that turned out. It kind of just looks dirty. That's how I ended up doing the necklace. And then, yeah, there's kind of the belt. And another look at our boots. So from the back here, we're gonna look at the boots first, sorry. They look like the same as the front. But here's how I kind of did the belt. So I put a rubber band through the hole, and then, hold on, it's tough to see because the stand's like in the way. But there, like I just wrapped it around the peg part of the belt. So like, instead of it being hooked to itself, that way it can sit lower on our hips. And it seemed be stable enough that I was fine with it. And you can see the 13 on her outfit, which I was most excited about. And I do really like how this doll turned out. I think it stays with her like vibe. I know she's kind of pop star, but this is going to be our next victim. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for hanging out.